Hey everyone. Hey there, this is Sive Morten from ForexPeaceArmy.com. As usual, our daily Euro overview. Nothing much happened news-wise yesterday, so let's jump right into it. Let's get straight to our trading plan and technical analysis for the Euro. So what's happening on the daily chart? Here you see a very narrow trading range. The market is practically standing still. Everyone is getting ready for the release. The market's looking pretty bearish overall. We've got major oversold conditions on the daily chart like we talked about before. And basically our trading plan is looking at movement towards this level. 1340, 1356, that's the support level, our trading target. And we also have some intraday trading targets. We're looking at this level as a potential entry point for a long position if the market shows any positive reaction there. Because honestly, things aren't looking great overall. If you look at the monthly chart, we will discuss this in more detail in our weekly review. In short, there's quite a significant downward movement and a high probability that we will see an even deeper correction on the monthly or weekly chart. So this movement we're looking at right now probably won't be the end point. We'll likely just see a small correction here and then the movement might continue. Anyway, we'll come back to this later. Today we're keeping an eye on the data release. What do we have on the 4-hour chart? Yesterday we discussed possible grabbers, a repeat of the situation that happened 2 days ago. Indeed, you can see that two grabbers have formed here. They're lined up one after another, right here and here. Look, I can make this a bit bigger so you can see it better. So, both grabbers have pretty much the same target. Basically, the market needs to drop below these lows right here. The market is getting close to our XOP target of 1345. The ideal scenario for the current situation is if the market somehow drops, possibly on the data release. If the numbers turn out to be higher than the market expects, then basically our trading plan will be perfectly set up. We'd hit our target and then start watching for a specific bullish pattern that might form here. Once we spot it, we'll switch to our plan for opening a long position like we talked about, with the possibility of a pullback. A decent correction on the 4-hour and daily charts. That's basically the main idea. Looking at the hourly chart, what do we see? I can only guess there might be a butterfly pattern here, but as you can see, the target for this butterfly is pretty high. 1363, which is higher than 1340. Most likely, there should be something else here, because I prefer to see this target completed before planning any long positions. At the moment, if you haven't opened a position on these grabbers, I wouldn't do anything, because literally in a few hours we'll have the data release. And today it's Friday as well, so rather than holding positions over the weekend, it's probably better to just wait it out, see what happens, and come back to this on Monday. If you've already opened positions based on these grabbers, then it probably makes sense to set a stop order at break-even so you don't get knocked out by volatility when the data hits, and just see how things play out. Overall, if we also look at cross-market analysis, you'll see some interesting things there. I'll show you now. First, look at this interesting thing on the dollar index. We've got that same upward ABCD pattern, but unlike the euro currency, which is sitting near XOP, this one has barely touched the OP. We're seeing some serious acceleration here, and after some correction, since the market is overbought here too, we might see an upward move. For the euro, this suggests that the downward movement I mentioned at the start of my review has a pretty good chance of continuing. And the same goes for Bitcoin. We did a Bitcoin review yesterday too. If you remember, we were looking at this pattern and I said to pay close attention. Basically, if the market fails to reach the neckline and starts tumbling down, coming back to 117, that's going to be a breakdown signal. The fact that Bitcoin is unable to go up, and accordingly what we're seeing now is the result. That is, there is also a certain weakness here. Bitcoin's probably going to drop even lower, honestly, because the market has already tried to push it up a few times, and it's just not happening. All this is indirect. Of course, this isn't the euro, but it also indirectly suggests that the dollar is quite strong right now, and the euro has a better chance of continuing its correction next week than starting a reversal upward. At last, the final point. If you look at our trading plan for the pound, here you can see that ours is working perfectly. In fact, this pattern is already complete. The market is very close to the target, and today, most likely, this target will be reached as well. So basically, everything turned out pretty well here for Great British Pound. I hope things go just as well with the euro currency. So I guess that's it for today. Let's keep an eye on the data coming out. Let's see what numbers we get, and we'll return to the discussion over the weekend.